And we're live. And I've got this nightmare in front of you. This is Math 60 Intermediate Algebra, Section 6.3, adding and subtracting. And you know, I got so excited about adding and subtracting. Like, I know all of you get that excited about it. And I totally forgot to do number 4. So let's do number 4. This is a little bonus video where we will work on problem number 4. Woohoo! And this one is both the simplest one we will work on and possibly the hardest one we will work on. And so let's take a good look at what's going on. If I were you, I would look at these two and think, wow, these are really close. They are. So what's the common denominator? Well, a lot of people would just multiply them together. And if you do that, that's fine. It's a lot of work. I am opposed to a lot of work. I prefer to do not a lot of work. And so let me propose something else. You know, humor me. See if you like it. If this is a reasonable way to go, use it. And if it's not, then don't. And that is, I want to look at 1 over 1 minus x. Now, this one is already a little weird because normally, hopefully by now, you've had a couple chapters where we're playing with polynomials, and hopefully you're getting used to the idea of descending order. And so the fact that the x comes second is really annoying. And that is because there's a subtraction here. So in fact, if we were to write it in descending order, it doesn't look very pretty, right? The minus sign follows the x, so it's the opposite of x plus 1. Now, what if we take that, and what if we, and I'm not saying you, but I'm saying I, what if I were to just randomly multiply top and bottom by a -1? So up on top, I'd get a -1. Down in the bottom, -1 times the opposite of x gives me just plain x, and -1 times 1 gives me -1. So the truth of the matter is if you want to reverse two terms, now this only works, I don't have a stern spider, I only have a tall spider. So tall spider says this only works with binomials. So this only works with two terms. But if you have two terms in the numerator or the denominator and you want to swap them, you want to flip them around, left to right, let's change the order. 1 minus x to x minus 1, you're going to change the sign. That's all. So I had 1 over x minus 1 minus 1 over 1 minus x. I now have 1 over x minus 1. The first one I did not change at all. First one is exactly the same. And the second one, this guy right here, this one now becomes -1 all over x minus 1. Okay. And so that ends up being x minus 1 is a common denominator, 1 minus -1. So I get 1 plus 1 all over x minus 1, which is 2. So believe it or not, I started out thinking I was subtracting two things. And in fact, I was just adding the same thing to itself. You just couldn't tell. So that was that. Woohoo. Take it for what it's worth. The more you know. Oh, pretty rainbow.